Greetings, denizens of the internet. My name is Beatius, and I'm here to give guidance on how to get the back routes in Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. I should make it clear that there will be heavy spoilers for the game, since there will be clips of the trial to help nail down where these lies go. This video is meant to be supplementary to people who are either trophy hunting or wanting the full Danganronpa experience. For those confused about the back routes, basically it's like a roundabout way of progressing the trial, by lying or baiting out information not normally available. There are no special skills or requirements for these back routes, so it is totally accessible in the first playthrough. There are 9 back routes in the game, 1 in Chapter 1, and 2 in each of the subsequent chapters till 5. Fun fact, there is a audio cue, or track really, that plays when you enter a section of the trial that includes a back route. It is the same one that plays when you are forced to lie during a trial. If you are wanting to find the back routes but do not wish to spoil the dialogue, I will include at the end of the video screenshots of the statement and truth bullet required to access the back route. Otherwise, for everyone else who's wanting to see this juicy hidden content, stay tuned. So, the first back route shows up in the debate that comes after you have switched over from Kaede to Shuichi. The discussion comes up as to how Kaede murdered Rantaro with a shot put ball from all the way upstairs. This is one of the harder ones, because it is the contrarian to the rule of progressing the trial. However, it is an easy find. It's the last statement in the section, where Kaede tells Shuichi to not lose sight of the truth. Hit it with the blocked vent lie to access the first and only back route of this chapter.
Shuichi? Don't lose sight of the truth.
I always feel the truth!
Well, actually, maybe the shot didn't pass through the vent.
Did you not just tell us that the shot traveled through the vent?
That's true, but I just remembered the library's vent was closed.
The vent was closed?
So I think my deduction might be wrong.
Shuichi? I see. Shuichi, we both investigated the vent, but you misunderstood something.
What?
I closed the vent grate while we were investigating, but it was open before. Does this mean Shuichi's testimony was based on a misunderstanding?
That's a lie.
It's not a lie, but depending on your deduction, it could become a lie. Shuichi, please answer the question. How did the shot reach Rantaro? You know the answer. You just heard it during the debate.
It's just like we almost said. The shot rolled along the top of the bookcase and fell on Rantaro's head.
The first back route of Chapter 2 is actually the first section of the trial, during the discussion of how the water tank was used to kill Ryoma. Not all back routes are accessed through a counter, they can also be gained from agreements. When Himiko claims it was magic, hit her statement with the magic water tank lie to get this fun little snippet.
maybe Himiko was right. The underwater escape might be real magic. Because from what I've seen, there is no trick or gimmick in that tank.
See? Shuichi agrees. There's no trick. It's magic.
Why do you look so surprised?
Wait up, Shuichi! Why are you trying to white knight your way into Himiko's heart? Just so you know, Himiko has already chosen me as her one and only soulmate.
But if that trick was actual magic, then I'm more inclined to believe she's the culprit.
If you can perform mysterious miracles, couldn't you have just swapped places with Ryoma? What? No, wait. Ryoma couldn't have been killed by the piranhas. But the piranhas I used in my show are special. They only eat dead flesh.
Only dead flesh?
How does it mean?
What the? Are you just pretending to be nice to Himiko so she'll tell us the truth?
No, that's not.
Huh? Are you sure it wasn't the piranhas? We saw Ryoma reduced to bones. He totally died from all the piranhas' chops, right?
No, Ryoma's death was not caused by the piranhas. The Monokuma file indicates the cause of death is drowning.
So it wasn't the piranhas then. He was drowned.
Oh, I see. I haven't checked the Monokuma file yet, so that's news to me.
After exposing that the crime must have been committed during nighttime, you accuse Kirumi of being the culprit. Of course, there's no alibi for nighttime for anyone, but don't let that stop you. When she says most of us do not have one, let her have it with the "my alibi for nighttime" line to get the second and final backroot of Chapter 2.
I'll reveal the truth! Maybe we can't prove everyone's alibi, but we can still pinpoint the culprit.
How so?
Last night, Kaito and I heard Maki speaking with Ryoma. But I haven't mentioned what happened after. Kirumi, any thoughts?
Did you return to your respective dorm rooms?
Yes, we did. But I couldn't fall asleep, so I was awake until morning, which allowed me to hear a certain sound in the night.
A certain sound?
Last night, I heard the sound of someone leaving their room and exiting the dorm. And after some time, I heard the sound of them returning.
Could it have been the culprit?
But all you heard was a sound? That doesn't mean you know who made it.
Indeed, it doesn't. But I didn't hear the sound of someone going down the stairs. Which must mean that whoever left has a room on the first floor. No one on the second floor left the dorm that night.
So everyone on the second floor has an alibi? You cannot determine the culprit with just that.
On the contrary, once we rule out the second floor, we know who the culprit is. Because preparing the ropeway required time to be spent in the gym. It's extremely likely that the culprit helped set up the magic show. In short, Himiko, Angie, Kaito, or Kirumi.
I see. So among the four, the only one with a room on the first floor of the dorms is...
Yes, only Kirumi.
You heard a sound, huh? Well, I hear a load of BS. But unfortunately for you, Kirumi, your time's up. We already know you're the only one capable of setting all this up. Right, Shuichi?
Right. the only person who could have prepared this murder is Kirumi. Well, the preparations in the gym in any case.
The first back route of Chapter 3 is located in the beginning part of Tenko's case, when discussing how someone could have killed her while it's pitch black. Keel will assume Kibo uses flashlight function to see under the floor. However, the target for this lie is actually Miu. When she states that Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor, strike her words with the flashlight drawback lie to get, without a doubt, the best segment in this game.
I'll reveal the truth! Miu, you gave Kibo his flashlight function, correct? Did you not notice?
I didn't notice what?
The drawback of the flashlight function that you added. It's so bright, even Kibo can't see when it's turned on.
I see. That bright, huh? Wait, what? There's no way a genius like me would make that kind of rookie mistake!
But you make mistakes a lot. A whole lot.
Hey! If you're gonna fuck me in front of everyone, at least buy me dinner first!
If he can't see, it doesn't matter how bright the area is. He couldn't move like that. So Kibo couldn't have been underneath the floor.
Is that true, Kibo? Is what Shuichi said true?
Well, I'm so sorry. I just don't remember. Really, I'm sorry.
Ah, we get it already! Just turn it off! We're gonna go blind!
You don't remember? What does that even mean?
Well, Shuichi, trying to make a fool out of me, huh? Let me put on some makeup, 'cause I want to at least look pretty before you decide to fuck me!
That's
Shuichi, I'm so sorry.
Damn, that is seriously bright!
Wouldn't the light have shined through the gaps of the floorboard if it had been this bright?
Yes. The culprit couldn't have used a light under the floor. Not even Kibo.
Because you laid your trap.
The last back route in Chapter 3 is probably the hardest one without help. The only clue you get is Shuichi saying that Himiko may have been persuaded to choose. Your truth bullets are not very helpful. I actually had to look this one up. But when Samuki mentions that someone steered her into picking the center room, you need to get a clean hit with the Cage Dog Village lie to get this unsatisfactory, but still important, back route.
I'll reveal the truth! Tsumugi is correct. I believe Himiko was being set up. Himiko only picked that room because Kyo wanted it as dark as possible.
Even if Himiko did choose an empty room because of what Kyo said, are you saying she chose the middle room by pure coincidence?
The culprit gambled on the middle room being picked through coincidence? That seems highly improbable.
No more. I told you, it's too much of a pain. Just do the voting or whatever.
I'm pretty sure it didn't matter which room Himiko chose.
What do you mean?
It's getting kind of boring, so I'll explain. She didn't choose the middle by coincidence. Each room was the same to begin with.
Each room, same?
Remember what Gonta said earlier? Maybe the culprit placed traps in all the rooms? Well, that was correct. Before the trial, I hurt myself checking all the rooms.
Ah, that's right. Kokichi found another loose floorboard in one of the other rooms.
Well, I didn't find it so much as I stepped through it and tripped. Kaito?
Chapter 4's first backward is in the first part of the trial, when discussing the poison found in Kokichi's seat. Kokichi claims it is a ploy by Kaito to pin the murder, but we know Kaito ain't that kind of guy.
Miu was still logged in.
When Kokichi talks of how Kaito poisoned Miu, he used the small antidote bottle lie to give Kokichi a taste of his own medicine.
I'll reveal the truth! Wait a minute, Kokichi. Miu couldn't have been killed with poison. And it's much too early to decide that Kaito is the culprit.
But why? I think it's already too late. You guys are taking so long to realize that people can kill others in a snap.
Have you forgotten? The bottle we found at the scene was an antidote, not a poison. It's not like Miu could have been killed by an antidote.
What? Are you serious here? Come on, Shuichi. That bottle definitely had poison in it. Didn't we check the label?
Is this fun for you? Messing with the trial?
Well, I mean, this is where it gets fun for both me and the culprit. So what's this talk about an antidote? We'll just say you misunderstood the whole thing, Shuichi. We all know you wouldn't lie.
Of course. I'm sorry. I was just misremembering. But Kokichi, you're misremembering as well. You were the one who told us about the warnings on the label. If you remember what was on that label, you'll see that your argument is flawed.
What warnings? Was there something like that on the label?
So what does that mean?
It means that Miu couldn't have been killed with poison. That's what I'm trying to say.
What if you're mistaken about the antidote, Shuichi?
Right. Well, for now, forget the antidote. Let's focus on exactly what was written on that warning label. Drinking the poison would result in subconjunctival
In the
hemorrhage.
first debate after the intermission, the subject comes up about how Miu's body was moved from the rooftop to the chapel, since going to the manor would be risky. Saying something crazy will bait a certain liar to say something truthful. Strike Kaito's statement with the signboard used as a sign lie to get Kokichi to admit to something sinister.
I'll reveal the truth! There was something the culprit could have used to slide the body. The signboard.
The signboard?
You put Mew's body on top and use it as a kind of sled.
You could use it to slide the body, but the signboard we used as a bridge was the only one. The culprit couldn't have used that signboard as a sled.
What if there was another signboard?
Huh? Another one?
Do you remember the first time I went to get the signboard? There were actually two there, but I only brought one. The culprit must have used the other one as a sled.
But then why did Mew say there was only one signboard?
To mislead us. She was planning a crime after all.
Pooh! Pooh! Oh my god! That line was so cringy! Stop, my stomach hurts! Wow! Shuichi is lying on purpose! Are you trying to spice up the class trial too?
What Shuichi just said was a lie?
Kokichi, I was the only one who went and got the signboard. Only I saw them. So why do you think I'm lying?
Because I know. I know the culprit. And the whole trick.
What?
Then tell us! We can put an end to this class trial right now!
I could tell you, but I think we should save the best for last. Even if I told you, would you guys really believe a liar like me? I could be lying about knowing who the culprit is for all you know.
What?
This doesn't mean all of Shuichi's deductions are lies, you know. You're right about the culprit putting Mew on a sled and sliding her down the roof. But instead of a sled, they used that thing from the storage room on the roof.
You mean the lattice, right? When I first looked in the storage room on the roof, I saw the lattice there.
For the first backward in Chapter 5, it'll be in the second debate, discussing who was in the hangar with Kaito when he was murdered. Something's fishy with that murder video Kokichi brought though. When Himiko brings up Kaito being squished, bring up the survival video lie to see if you can glean something from Kokichi's scheme. I'll reveal the truth!
I still don't believe it. Is that video real? It could have been edited to make it look like Kaito was killed by the press.
Damn right! There's no way this luminary of the stars would die that easily.
Kaito again?
Would you have liked it better if it turned out like that? You wish. Like I said, that footage isn't edited at all. It recorded the event completely as is. Kaito was crushed! His bones went crunch and his organs went squish!
I remembered the video and all my bittersweet memories of him. Hold those memories within you, or they'll just escape as sour vomit.
But we all know Kokichi loves to lie, and that he's a remnant of despair. That leads me to believe there's something he's not telling us about that video. I don't think that video showed the murder at all. All we saw was a living body.
A living body?
I don't blame you for not believing it. It's hard to believe a smug idiot like Kaito got squished like a bug, right? But your lie won't work here, Shuichi. What you said isn't even a lie. It's just wishful thinking.
Isn't this enough? Kokichi is the culprit. He brought the evidence and even confessed to the murder.
That doesn't make sense. Not even Kokichi would do something that stupid.
Is common sense going to work here? On the remnants of despair, I mean?
Oh, a hit! I got a hit! Shuichi, I got a hit containing some important info.
A hit?
The word living stuck out to me, so I ran a search for that word in my memory bank. And there was one hit.
Do you mean you remembered something?
What important info was in your search hit?
The living organism detector that we found when we investigated the press. The existence of this detector refutes the very premise of this discussion.
Of course! The safety function. The video does not show Kaito's murder.
A safety function.
Yes, it was written on the safety precautions.
Do we even know?
After bringing up a possible third party as part of the murder, discussion erupts about how they were able to enter the hangar. Monokuma confirms that it is possible if you were to pilot an exisal. But who could possibly steal an exisal and use a crossbow?
There's no way to stop an
To get your answer, when Maki denies the possibility of someone taking an exisal, refute her by using the unlocked hatch line to confront her.
I'll reveal the truth! While investigating the exisals, I noticed that they have no locks on their cockpit hatches. It should have been possible to get into the cockpit, providing they could reach it.
But that's reckless, absurd, and useless. Jump inside a moving exisal? That's not really possible.
No, I think it is. You would need to be quick, agile, athletic, and stealthy. I can think of at least one person who fits that description.
What? Are you implying that it's...
Oh, I see. And since he's a robot, he could have some robo-communication function.
Huh? Was that directed at me? As I said, my speed, agility, and strength are equal to that of a human, if not weaker. So I cannot fight an exisal, and I certainly cannot communicate with one.
The selling point of being a robot is being good in combat, but... Poor Kibo.
Please don't act like I drew the short straw.
Stop this pointless conversation, Shuichi. If you want to say something, say it already.
Maki, just to confirm. As the ultimate assassin, you would be able to jump into that exisal, correct?
Impossible. If I could do that, I would have turned the exisal into scrap on the first day.
Maybe. Unless you were hiding your true potential, in which case...
Stop messing around. Are you telling me to prove something I can't do? Do you really suspect me that much?
No, actually. I'm trying to find a way to prove that you couldn't be the intruder.
Fine then. I'll explain. There was another problem that doesn't involve my talent. You said earlier that the hatch doesn't have a lock, but that's incorrect. The Exisal's hatch has an electronic lock, so it can't be opened from the outside.
What?
An electronic lock? Yes. You can't open the hatch from the outside. It's impossible to get into the cockpit. Satisfied now?
How do you know there's an electronic lock on the Exosoul's hatch?
Because I checked it during the investigation.
That can't be true. I'm the only person Monokuma told about those locks.
Just you? I see. If that's the case. Then you lied just to confirm if I knew about the electronic lock.
Yes, I did. And I'm sorry. I thought you were hiding something from me, Maki. I was confirming my suspicion. Now please, tell us the truth. How do you know about the hatch?
When Monokuma explained it to you, I just happened to overhear it, that's all.
You're lying, Maki. You know about the locks because you've been inside one of the cockpits.
So annoying. Do you want to die? You're the one who's lying.
Huh? That's a suspicious thing to say. Are you actually the culprit, Maki?
Either way, there's an electronic lock so you can't open the hatch from the outside. Because of that, no one could have entered the hangar piloting an Exosol.
Maki's saying it's impossible, but there is a way to open the hatch.
Oh, you mean with your magic, right?
I won't say such a lame thing anymore. I can't stay a dreamer forever. That lock is electronic, so won't an electro hammer work on it? That would let you stop an Exosol and open its hatch. Of course, my magic is also an option.
A dreamer to the end, huh?
True, with an electro hammer, that method might be possible. But the electro hammers were recharging yesterday, so entering an Exosol would be...
Wait. Not all of the electro hammers were being charged.
For those of you who skipped all the video to get the bare bones, here it is. Use this to enjoy some quality content. With this, you've completed all the back routes. You should have received the trophies for getting the back routes, and what a meme it is. If you support content like this, leave a like. If you want to suggest new content, leave a comment. And if you just enjoy my content in general, make sure to subscribe. Farewell, Internet. Till next time.